There's a school of thought that believes that this your suggestion about value addition might not work because we still have individuals instead of institutions. Our banking system is more of individuals than institutions.
Yeah.
How do we get to that point?
I don't get it. Build the institutions. Do you understand? If somebody tells you that, look, the way to make all your children become, I don't know, great scientists and things is they don't have to go to a school under the bridge. They should go to you make effort to make them go to that other school. Do we want to develop? Do we want to transit this economy from its chaotic pre-industrial status into an industrial? So we must do all that is necessary to do.
Do we look like we want to?
Well, these are value questions, and I would really love that we should want to, and that we should do it. After all, our individuals know they want to become billionaires, so they become billionaires. I always complain that Nigeria is the only place where you have many, many billionaires who you cannot point to, this is their factory. They have private jets. You cannot point to, this is what they are doing. They've manipulated the system and everything, and they are washed with money. But the system itself is suffering.
I think Mark Bell has to get a question. Mark Bell?
Do we blame the banks? I mean, you have said that the banks are not performing the roles that they ought to perform because they're not interested in. Can we really say that they're really not interested in all the system? The environment has made it difficult for anyone to make long-term investments.
Yeah, it's these key institutions that make up the system. Do you understand? Our judiciary, our policing, our banks, our legislature. And you see, we keep talking about the system. This system is not in heaven, it's here. We can see them, but we've literally, I don't know, failed to make them into problem-solving, objective-pursuing institutions, and therefore we have de-institutionalized a lot of our institutional, do you understand, dynamics and entities. We have individualized them. So if you go to even a government ministry, you want something is faster when you know the commissioner, when you know this pansec, when you have all these middlemen and everything. So it is a problem. It is a governance, a developmental problem. We've got to solve it. We cannot go on citing them as a problem forever. We've got to determine to solve, and this is where the quality of those who end up in public position is very important. As far as I'm concerned right now, the quality is still very low across the board. You might have individual shining stars, but they are the minority.
So how would you describe say, for instance, the political climate over time? Because one of the things that people have spoken about is political stability. Yes, we have been practicing democracy over time, but some people still say that because government policies are not stable, it has not favored business people. Would you agree with them?
Yeah, I agree with them. Government policies are not stable because the institutions are not stable and they are not strong. They are individual power-based institutions or group power-based institutions rather than institutions that work in their own interest, in their own institutional interest, and defend those interests. I mean, you should go to the advanced countries that we're trying to copy and see how institutions pursue, on the whole, 90% of the time, institutional goals and objectives. But here, institutions are used to pursue and to drive the goals and objectives of powerful forces and groups within the economy. I was talking about Niger Delta the other day. And I'm quite a bit involved in a certain number of discussions now. And I'm saying, look at the 13% derivation. Treat that as a mini institution where we think certain amount of money should be set aside because, and given to the communities, because they are aimed at the communities, not necessarily the state governments. But what do we do? Instead of, for example, setting up world-class companies, what I call the Ethiopian Airlines model, because the Ethiopian Airlines has shown that it's a lie where you say, oh, government cannot do anything, they cannot do business. No, government can set up businesses, but put business people, private entities, they run it as business. Government is the major shareholder. Ethiopian Airlines is as successful as they can, and they've been in business for a long time. When Africa used to be so difficult, I traveled Africa a lot in the 80s and 90s and, and things. Ethiopia will be the only line that could take you from east to southern, from west to, and things. And they have continued to succeed and succeed. They are one of the best aviation training facility and maintenance facility in the world. Governments in Nigeria can do the same. So they should have set up businesses, holding companies, for clusters of communities, and let the 13% derivation, let maybe about 60% of it go straight to those holding companies. And they do business with it. And they grow money for the communities, for general goods, and for individual investors. But instead, we gave it to the states. And the governors did very well. The communities did poorly. And what do you have? Avengers.